another beautiful day to be a Raider. Draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation. And he's coming back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring the...
I'm back! What's up, Raider Nation? I'm the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Deep behind the enemy line, this is Raider Reaction, and as we're doing every Thursday in studio, we have the captain with me as well. So you got a double dose, some Raider action for your Thursday night. So thank you for joining us. So how you doing this evening, Captain?
Gotta do it.
Yeah! How are y'all?
Now that I got rid of my food poisoning, I'm feeling a little better, and I want to thank everybody who wished me well and made sure I got through that. So you've been down with some crud.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the hell I had. It's almost like the flu.
Oh,
and
man,
it's knocked me down for 2 days. I'm just back around to
don't give it to me.
I'm back around to feeing better, but I gotta be past contagious stage. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I'm hoping.
I'm no doctor, though.
I'm hoping. Now, having said that, though, not that I'm going to do the old, because I'm an old guy and I got all these old things going on, but I think I have broken my coccyx, because it's been sore for weeks. For those of you that don't know what a coccyx is, that is your tailbone.
Oof.
So I might think butt, literally butt. I think I broke my butt.
Ouch.
So on top of that, I have sciatica in my left side. I have a pulled hamstring in my left side.
Isn't it?
And my right knee is, I think, bone on bone. So hopefully I will be able to survive for at least through the end of the season. But I might be on the injury report. But I'm here for you.
That's right.
Because this is where it's at.
That's right. We're not going to go 3 nights in a row without a show on Raider Reaction. That was unacceptable. We actually had a backup set up, pinch hitter last night, and then we had technical difficulties with the show. So, shit happens. This is what happens when you're low budget like us.
It's okay. You got the A team.
So we're double hitting you tonight with some. So we're both back. We're both feeling good enough to be here.
We're good.
We're on the mend.
Exactly.
Good enough. We're out
Yeah.
a few days ahead of the holidays, so we'll be all right. As long as I don't affect anybody else in the house, which I've kept myself quarantined, so shouldn't be any issues.
And I'm digging the captain's chair. Last week we had a substitute chair.
Yeah.
No problem with the commish, but I'm digging the full captain's chair here, relaxing for the old man's butt.
There we go.
There you go.
All about comfort.
It is. It is.
Well, as much as we don't want to talk about it, because I haven't been on for a couple of days, and this one seems to has been lingering around and stinging.
We're going to talk about it.
We got to talk about it a little bit to start out the show, and that's some of this fallout from this Cowboy game. Obviously, you guys are well entrenched in the groups. You see what's going on in there. Everybody's ready to jump ship. You've got all the bandwagon fans it's God, lost all hope. And then you've got the NFL that comes out and they say, we're not going to allow any more of those index cards.
Wow, imagine that. Something that is
wow.
Here, first off, they're not going to allow something that is, in theory, paper thin anyway. It really doesn't mean anything.
No.
Because if it hits you guys have seen what a real index card is. It's like a micro, milli, whatever the hell the measurement is. Then, there you go.
Index card.
Okay? But if you fold 2 pieces of paper in half and you could put them in between the stick and the football, what do you got? Got some first down!
It's the dumbest damn thing I've ever seen in my life.
And then when you call it you smirk on national TV.
And then, listen, we had admins, NorCal Raider Rick, JD Enigma. I know people that were in that end zone when it went down. He looked right at the black hole, smirked.
First down.
You smug prick.
Sterator is from Pennsylvania, by the way, so my guess is he's either a Squealer fan or he's just a Raider hater. One way or the other, F him. F him. And I'm being nice. I'm only saying F.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. The whole thing was asinine. I mean, Object A, Object B. You can move Object C between Object A and Object B. That means Object A did not reach.
Yeah, but Raider rules. First down.
Pretty simple science. Real simple.
Nah. And again, that's just one. 21 points taken off the board by the officials. Not 7, not 14, 21 points. On the pick 6 that Sean Smith had when he got the ball and got up and went and did the touchdown, when he was touched, the guy who touched him foot was out of bounds, which means the touch would not have counted at all because the player was out of bounds.
Oh, let's not bring rules into it, Captain.
Not rules. Okay, so that's 7 points. So instead of it being what would have, when we eventually got the field goal to tie, it would have been 14-10 Raiders at that point. But let's also go back, because I was in the third quarter. When we had the touchdown before half on a play where Carr throws it to Cook, he has the ball. That's a touchdown. Yes. Everybody and their grandmother who plays tight end, Gronk.
They were right there.
They're hand checking, but they're not doing anything.
Neither body moved. And when the ball came, it was actually in front of the defender. He took the ball from the damn defender still.
Exactly.
How do you call that a fucking penalty?
So, again, so at that point, it would have been 10-7 Dallas over Oakland. But no. No touchdown. Bring them back 10 yards. And then the field goal try. And I didn't want to say it at the time when I did my halftime show. It went over the upright. Okay? It's so damn close.
Yeah, that's an
iffy call, but still, that could have even been 3 right there.
It could have went our way.
Why
couldn't it have went our way?
No, because we're the Raiders.
Would never. No.
Raider rules.
No
okay,
way.
So that's 7. That's 3. That's the other 7. There was another touchdown. Oh, I got it. The touchdown, and I actually missed it. You know, I was doing my halftime show, and we ran back because I was there as well, in theory, mind, in spirit, and thought. Our boy, Cordero Patterson, ran the ball back 100 yards. But no. Flag on a gentleman who is no longer there. Mr. Woodson Luster, your ass is cut. Just like in the olden days, when David Dunn, the punt returner, back in the Gruden era, when he screwed up, he was cut the next day. Well, the Raiders waited a couple days before they cut Mr. Woodson Luster's ass. Oh, I said ass. That's about the worst I'm going to say tonight, hopefully. But your ass is cut because you done messed up. But the one cut, I will say, was for a needed body. So a guy who screws up and costs you 7 points. And again, that's 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, and a possible field goal. And oh, by the way, while we're talking about the BS penalties, okay, we already talked about the index card, which necessitated or which prolonged the drive on 4th down, mind you. And oh, by the way, on the 3rd down, we had to use a challenge when everybody in the stadium saw that the guy was a foot short.
Yeah.
And we had to use a challenge. That's BS as well.
The officiating crew did a terrible job in that game.
No. They would have had to have improved.
Oh, God. It was such a subpar. These guys are supposed to be the top echelon of their craft. Professional football officiating. This is as good as it gets. This is the cream of their crop.
No, they are the top craft.
Get the hell out of here.
Screwing the Raiders. Okay?
Fucking hack job.
This happens all the time. Raider rules. I'm older than most of you guys out there, but I still can perform. Let's put it that way. I'm older than a lot of y'all out there, and I've seen bad officiating dating back from the 70s. Okay? This is beyond preposterous, and this is why many fans are being turned off to the NFL. Because of the BS officiating, the political stuff that's going on, which I'm not going to get into, but the political stuff is having its face as well. Bad officiating, all of the calls. Remember the Brady Gate and the Deflate Gate and all of the drama and all that crap there. Okay, this is why fans are turning away from the NFL. Real Raider fans are going to stick with our team. We love you. We love you. But the majority of folks out there that are just the casual fan, they're turning off the NFL because of all of the BS right here. NFL, not for long, maybe. And I tell you what, the league is fixed. It's fixed. There are people that they do.
They try to put their hands in it. It's fixed I agree. But fixed is a little more hard than making a team go out and make a whole team of 53 men go out and take a dive. But you can definitely do things during the course of the game to try and fuck with a team's outcome. Like taking your number one wide receiver off the fucking field when he don't even know what's going on the last play of the game.
When he's most needed.
You tell me. Let me pose the question to you. Second to last play of the game. Tom Brady gets knocked down. He hits his head on the fucking turf. It takes him 5 seconds to pull himself up. Are you telling me that an NFL officiating team is going to send his ass into concussion protocol on the last play of the fucking game without giving them a chance to win?
That is
no way in hell.
That is the face
no
of the
fucking
NFL.
way in hell will they do that.
The face of the NFL. And by the way, I'm sitting on my face of the NFL right now.
Woozy or not, he would get to go under center and finish the game. Then they would look at his ass.
Raider rules, baby.
Guaranteed. No reason. Crabtree is asking them, why am I going? And he's taken off the field.
And of course, you need Crabtree for the final play because Carr would have thrown to him because you know that he was the primary receiver. Carr said it himself in the press conference afterward that they had a play already going his way. And they had to change the play because he wasn't on the field. The number one receiver for your team is off the field. It changes everything. And it's because the officials took him off the field. Yeah, like I said, the officiating, again, fixed might be a harsh term, but I'm telling you this.
Meddled.
The officials
definitely
will
meddled.
do everything in their power to sway a game
in
the favor that they wish it to be. They can't do everything because, again, fixing is actually legitimate to have people paid off like the Black Sox of 1919, okay? It's kind of hard in football, but I tell you, officials can do things to make a game go their way, just like the NBA official, which is in, he's in the penitentiary right now for fixing games and being in a gambler's hand, okay? Fixing. It can be done.
It can be done, absolutely. I would more call it meddling in the outcome. A little bit.
Definitively.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Fix just sounds so dirty.
Well,
it is dirty, but
it is a dirty thing. It is a dirty thing. But
speaking of dirty, was it Greg Papa that had come out and about bad seeds, bad players, bad gentlemen in the locker room.
Bad juju going on.
And bad juju.
Smith-Schuster. That's bad folks in the locker room, which need to be removed per the voice of the Raiders, Greg Papa. And if you guys saw my Facebook page, I even put it on there, and I tell you, it blew up with conversation. blew up with conversation about yay, nay, and the Raiders have done this and the Raiders have done that. Everybody has seen a change. The first, and we've spoken about it several times. First 2 games, we're blowing everybody out. Game 3, who shows up? A team that wants to sit and then go locked arm in arm, except for a few people. And again, my hat's off the Smith and the James and the Morrow and the Derek Carr for standing up. Again, I'm a stander, guys. I'm military, okay? I understand that there is a right to do what that is, but again, that's right. I'm not going to go into it other than the fact that that game, since there's been something going on in that locker room, it's been noted, okay? There are a lot of problems on the Raiders, and it's been delineated in the Facebook page as well. You had 2 defensive coordinators which were going arm in arm or hand in hand, and the team was screwed up that way. I got it. There's other issues. You have an offensive coordinator who's wet behind the ears that doesn't know what the hell's going on, and that has screwed up our offense. You've had an offensive line that has had to change from a power blocking scheme to a zone blocking scheme because Marshawn likes to have the zone blocking scheme. Okay. Well, now Marshawn is actually doing what he's supposed to, but you screwed up an entire offensive line, an offense that was top 6 in the league last year, and now you change things. Again, a lot of other crap going on, but as a whole, all of this together means that there's some bad juju going on, and Greg Papa even said that there is. There's been speculation. I'm not going to speculate. The Commish is. Go ahead and go. Run with that there, big guy.
The speculation? Oh, man. It's hard to tell because when you get a season that starts to go south like this, people start to point fingers. So it's hard to tell who's pointing fingers at who at this point in the game. When you're sitting at 6-8 and you're looking at a team that was 12-4 last season, you had the sky was the limit coming into this season. So, you brought in Marshawn, I thought was going to be an impactful player, and he was going to help gel the team. I don't know if that has happened or not.
No, it is
not. It doesn't look like it's happened to me. So, is he a distraction? Is he a problem? I'm not saying he is, but it's worth asking the question at this point in the game. The rookies, the defensive backs. They're banged up. Luwani is a guy that I've wanted to see get more time. Why is he not getting the time? Why are we still seeing so much Nelson back there?
Why is David Amerson, who's actually been a healthy scratch because he was injured earlier, why has he been a healthy scratch? Again, this is rumor control, mind you, a healthy scratch for the last 5 weeks. Why? God knows we need good cornerbacks back there, and he hasn't played. Why? I don't know.
Reggie Nelson he's been getting burnt repeatedly. I would think Luwani would have got shuffled in a lot sooner back there. I see him in there sporadically, but not to any great extent.
You need to see what you have in the players that are on your roster. Okay, the commission is going to go over what the playoff possibilities are. Playoffs. Hell, I just want to win a game. There's my other Jim Moore impersonation, mandatory for each evening that we call playoffs. But the commission will go into that as well. But having said that, if and when those possibilities are cease to exist, you need to see what you have on the roster so you know what players you can go forward with. We all know, and we being the operative we, all of us here, pretty much Reggie Nelson, he's 35 years old. His best days are behind him. The guy's gone, okay? So you need to see what you got back there in safety. That's why aren't you playing Luwani?
He was lucky he made it this year. They were talking about Reggie Nelson not making the team this season. He was very lucky to have made it on this season. And it was apparent by mid-season that he probably shouldn't have been the guy.
No.
And why they haven't put the move in there, it's going to be somebody like Luwani and
if Obi was not on the IR, Obi would be back there as well, okay? And if they had a safety on the practice squad, which I'm not sure if they did, we will get to that in a minute. If they had a safety on the practice, oh, by the way,
it's going to be Lawani and Joseph. It's going to be a young duo back there.
With
Get
Obi,
him
with
starting
Obi
to
back there
gel.
when he comes back next year. Okay, you're going to need somebody as well. By the way, what happened to Breon Borders? He left the practice squad by his own volition. I don't even know what happened to him. Somebody could probably chime in with that. If he
Isn't he the one that went to Buffalo?
I was going to say he's the one that went to Buffalo. He was probably picked up by another team because he quit the practice squad on his own. So I know that he was picked up by somebody else. That's where I wanted to know, where is he going?
He went to Buffalo.
There we go. Thank you. I appreciate that, shipmate. Thanks for answering my question.
I've a vat full of useless knowledge.
Hey, it's a Trivial Pursuit at its finest. There you go. But the point being, again, we have players that need to be seen, and this is kind of like a big segue back to why Woodson Luster gets cut. Who gets picked up? We picked up Mr. Jeff Stone. Jeff Stone, correct?
James Stone.
James Stone.
James Stone, because we're looking.
We're thin.
We're all of a sudden we got issues at center.
Yes.
I don't know if you've read or realized this. Our star Pro Bowl center Hudson is dealing with kidney stones as well as an ankle injury. So he is now all of a sudden questionable.
And in case you want to have your backup center, who is Mr. Feliciano, the big kid out of University of Miami, he's questionable as well with an injury. You guys saw him being injured the last game. At the very end of the game, you saw that he was injured. So again, your starting center and your backup center is injured. They're both injured. They're both questionable on the list, so you need to bring up Mr. James Stone by Woodson Luster. Your Luster's career is gone from the Raiders for missing a block as well, and we got Mr. Stone. Hopefully we don't see him, and but again, the kid had a lot of promise, so I'd like to see what he has. Obviously, and this is probably threefold. The fact is, the Raiders wanted to protect him from being binged from somebody else's got on the roster, so it's a good time to bring him up. I hope he doesn't get purged and he stays on the roster for the rest of the season.
I want to roll back just a little bit, Captain, because I've seen Bob thrown up there a couple times, and it was something I spoke on Monday, and I want to get your take on this too. Let's roll back. And we're going to touch on the one last thing of the Dallas game. The very last fucking play.
Okay.
The last play. Now, I've thrown this same question out. The holy roller rule that was put in place because of obviously something good that happened for the Raiders back in the day. So we had to make a rule that could never happen again because, we make rules.
Raider rules.
They make rules to stop it when good shit happens to us, and when bad stuff happens to us, they just let it happen, and then they'll change the rule later.
Yeah.
That's typically how it works. But you're not supposed to be able to advance a fumble in the end of a half or a game.
Yes, and under 2 minutes to play, the guy who fumbles the ball is the only person that is supposed to be able to recover the ball, dating back to the holy roller, Kenny Stabler, who fumbles it to Mr. The running back. Was it Banasak? I think it was Mr. Banasak.
I think it was Banasak.
Pete Banasak fumbles it forward to Mr. Casper, who belly flopped.
We're going to be doing that game soon. Spoiler alert.
And again,
on Black Friday.
Touchdown Raiders! And the San Diego Chicken dies in the end zone. Thank you.
We're going to be doing that in a couple weeks. Spoiler alert for those that are watching on Black Friday.
Great game to watch.
We're going to be doing that one for the last week of Black Friday regular season because we're playing the Chokers. So.
The Chokers, the Garglers.
So we're gonna do that game. But that's what I'm saying.
The rule.
He fumbles on the 1. The ball goes forward, which it cannot be advanced.
Right.
Nobody touches the ball. Nobody. And the ball goes out of bounds. That means now it comes back to the possession of the last person that had possession of the ball since nobody else touched it. And it cannot be advanced.
Cannot be advanced. However.
It left his hand on the 1.
However. We will need to go, you guys need to go through the whole rule book. And again, I'm not sure if the time period between whether it's the 2 minutes to go is an interjectionary period or makes this like except for this time, but a regular rule.
Bill King
is.
We were corrected.
Yeah, Bill King.
Yes.
Bill King's the radio announcer.
Who's Bill King?
Bill King. Bill King is the old radio announcer from way
we
back
must be talking about somebody else.
Okay. Bill King was the old radio announcer for the Raiders. Papa took his job. Okay. Yeah. Well, Bill King is dead. Great guy. If you ever want to see all of those broadcasts, that Bill King is the voice of the Raiders.
Hell, he was the one doing the call.
Yeah.
He was the one doing the call.
With the handlebar mustache. Really awesome guy. Okay. That's what that is. But again, the rule being that if it goes into the end zone, into and out of either through the end of the end zone or through the sides and out, it is a touchback. That is a rule. What needs to be done is there are so many rules in the NFL. In fact, they were, and I hate bringing it up, but they were going over this ad nauseum on the NFL radio when I'm going to work about how the catch that the Steelers guy catch, how according to the NFL rule book, according to their own rule book, it was a catch. He had possession of the ball from the initial from his initial touching. He went into the end zone. That is when he lost possession, because this is what's in the process rule. And their rules are so convoluted that even the NFL has double talk on their own rules so that they can use their own rules to go in the favor of how they want it.
It's so ridiculous now. When you see a catch, you can't even celebrate yet. You got to stop me like, hold on.
Is that a catch? Is that a catch?
Did the ball move when he turned over?
Right.
Are
there any flags?
Did you see anything?
Yeah. Wait, are we on?
And about 2 minutes later, you can say, yes, touchdown. It's ridiculous anymore. When you've got a bar full of guys and you're all sitting there, and can't any of you tell if it's a touchdown?
And everybody,
there's a problem with that.
When there is a Raider touchdown, what's the first thing that everybody does? They look at the screen to see if there's anything on the screen that says
yellow.
flag.
Anything yellow.
Is
there flags, man?
Is there a flag? Is it going to stand?
Are we good? Like, the guys don't even want to celebrate in the end zone. They're looking for a flag.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Why? Because you're wearing silver and black. Raider rules.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It is.
And if you are just joining us, I'm the Commish. This is the captain. Every Thursday here on Raider Reaction, you got both of us in studio, a little double dose of some silver and black flavor for you on Thursday night. Thank you for joining us.
And by the way,
always,
he's not naturally that much bigger than me. I'm just actually laying back. Okay?
Yeah, I'm all up in your face, and so you got like 2D going on here.
I'm relaxed.
Two dimension.
Now, if I was up forward and I'm sitting down a little bit,
it's like my back's killing me. I've been sick and I pulled a muscle in my back, so the leaning back is very uncomfortable.
For me. It again, because we've already. In case you missed it, bad knees, bad hamstring, and a broken tailbone possibly. So you're caught up to date on my ailments. Oh, and getting over food poisoning.
That's right. We got him a new captain's chair here, so he's
very
lounging.
Comfortable. Very comfortable. Okay, now that you're caught up, okay, get something to drink here. Again, there are rules amongst rules. You are correct in the fact that it should have gone back to the person that fumbled the ball at X yard line. There's rules as to where it goes back to. Look in the rule book to see if that is trumped. And I hate to use that term. Again, no political stuff here. Trump is an actual word. If that is trumped by going through the end zone rule. Okay, because they have rules. They have Part A, Part B, Part B, subsection.
And I understand if that's a rule. And I have not. I gotta say, I have not taken the time because obviously I felt like I'm on my deathbed the last 2 days.
I work,
and I was working prior to that before I was on my deathbed. But I haven't taken the time to look in there. But if it is a rule, I feel this rule should be changed because there's no way that a sporting event should end on something that's just.
Yeah, and again,
like that.
This has happened this year at least twice. Because again, NFL Radio on Sirius, they've already discussed this because it happened in another game. In fact, it happened with John Fox coaching the Bears, where he actually was going for the win. Instant replay. The Chicago player fumbled the ball just like Carr did. Mm-hmm. It went out of the end zone. So instead of getting the instant replay touchdown, he got an instant replay. You lose the ball.
It's the whole change of possession thing that gets me, man. Change of possession in the NFL is such a big thing for it to happen on something where the other team didn't even do anything on. That's what they didn't recover it. They didn't catch it. They didn't even touch the damn thing.
But
so how did they get the ball? That's what chaps me.
It's similar to on an onside kick. When the ball is on an onside kick and it goes out of bounds without anybody either touching it or cleanly possessing it, it's just like nobody touched it, out of bounds. It goes over to the opposition at X yard line. Again, there are rules amongst rules, and I don't have the time to see which rule trumps each other.
I don't either.
But according to the one rule,
me off. I know
if
that.
the ball is possessed and then fumbled forward, goes through the end zone, goes out through the end zone, which in this case it did. It went out and tinkered out at the very end on the end line. It is a loss of possession for the team. When I saw that, I knew right there we just lost the game. I was like, I just got up from
I knew
my
we
chair.
lost it too. I was disgusted. And the only thing I can fault Derek for, because I can never fault a player going for the win.
He went for the win.
You went for the win. You can't ever fault that. The only thing that I could say...
I tell you what, though, I guarantee you, if it happens again, I guarantee you that Derek Carr, if it happens again, knowing that he has time, I guarantee you Derek Carr will go out of bounds and not do it anymore. Because here's the thing. If you can hold a ball, you can palm a football, because obviously he's a quarterback, he can do that. But any sort of a hit is going to cause you to lose the ball. I don't care how big your hands are, unless you can physically carry the ball with 3/4 of it, with the guys that can palm a basketball. If you have an NBA player running with the football, okay, rules out. But if you are a football player, and unless you can control the ball 3/4 of the way with your one hand, like palming a basketball, if that is not you, don't ever one hand if it's going to be that way. Derek, I admire it. You can't fault Derek Carr for going for the win.
No, you can never fault a guy going for the win, man.
But I guarantee you, if it happens again,
I hope it was a learning experience too. That's the only thing I've said about it. I hope it was a learning experience, and you've just got to know when you're the general, you're the field general out there, and you understand. You got to know every damn scenario that could possibly come up on that play. Yeah, he had to know how much time he had left. He had to know if I'm scrambling and I'm getting close to the sidelines, I can run out of bounds. He should have known that.
He had a first down.
That's the only thing that I can say. Yeah. But I can't fault him if he thought I can get that fucking pylon. If that thought went through his head in that last split second, and that's what he was doing, then I can't fault a guy for having the instinct of trying to win the fucking game. I can't.
He said in his post-game speech that he was winning this one for the team. He was going for the win. Again, can't fault him for it. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it happened. But again, and people saying, "Gosh darn it, you should know." Blah 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 blah. It's not you.
No, and it's hard to live in the microcosm of a split-second decision at top speed of two professional athletes on a collision point of a course along a sideline, a freaking foot from his target.
And again, without your number one receiver, who has been mysteriously called away to the side.
You come here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Concussion protocol.
Yeah.
My butt.
Yeah. We didn't even get hit in the head. The defender did not hit him in the head. Why would you send the number one?
Again, full circle on us bitching. We've done this for half an hour.
Yes. All right. So let's bury that one.
Bury it.
That was week 15. Week 16 is upon us.
Yes.
Now, let me throw it out here for you, those of you who follow along. We're taking it 1 week at a time, Raider Nation, 1 week at a time, because we have pissed down our leg the last 2 weeks and completely killed our playoff hopes. But all is not lost just yet.
No.
If we win out, there is still an 11.1% chance that we can make the playoffs.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's still a chance.
There's a chance.
There's still a chance.
It's a better chance than what's-his-nose had in the movie Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
It's a better chance.
It's now let me this is what needs to happen in week 16. Obviously, the Raiders must beat the Eagles. because we have to win out to even have that 11.1% chance.
But 1 week at a time.
One week at a time.
We got to beat the Eagles.
This is what has to happen the first weeks. This is what you should be watching in your ticker. These 4 games, Raiders must beat the Eagles. The Patriots must defeat the Bills.
Which will probably happen.
That's probably doable. The Dolphins must beat the Chiefs.
We'll come back to that one.
That's yeah. And the Rams must beat the Titans.
Which is most likely going
to happen.
Yes.
So, if we handle our business, which we will come back to that, obviously, after the Dolphins-Chiefs. If we handle our business, it really comes down to Dolphins-Chiefs.
Yep, I agree.
So, we got to hope Jay Cutler does whatever gets Jay Cutler ready to go on a game that Jay Cutler doesn't
Let's
do what
hope
Jay
that
Cutler typically does.
The Smoking Jay memes are out there, and old boy will figure out. And remember, Cutler threw for 300 yards against the Raiders this year, and the Chiefs D-backs aren't that much better than ours. And we're going to get on our D.
He's got good wide receivers.
Yes,
and Jay Cutler every few games stumbles and finds 300 to 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. He does.
Providing he doesn't have the one pick six that goes the other way that loses the game. Because that's Cutler is Cutler. He's going to throw for 300, and he didn't do it our game because we were expecting it. We were expecting it in Miami that he was going to give us our first interception of the season because he always throws a pick against the Raiders, it seemed. Except that he did in Miami. He still threw for 300. So hopefully the Jay Cutler that goes out and throws for 300 and not throws a pick will be there this week.
Like Raider Genzo says, maybe we get the Cutler that was against the Pats. You know?
Yeah.
The guy, that's what I'm saying. Jay Cutler has the talent. We all know he's got no heart.
Yeah.
But now he's playing in a game where it doesn't really matter. The Dolphins are out. They know they're pretty well done.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're 100% eliminated or if they're hanging like we are.
They probably have at most an 11.1% chance at most. And we got them on. No, they have less of a chance because we got them on the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
they got less of a chance.
I think they got less of a chance than us. But we're not mathematically eliminated yet.
In stereo.
The stars have to align.
Uh-huh.
We have to win out. We have to beat the Eagles, and we have to beat the Chokers in the final week. But
so you say chokers, I say garglers. I like mine better.
I like sparklers too. Jay calls them the sparklers, which I kind of like the sparklers.
Very sparkly, very twinkly. There you go.
I like the sparklers too. I wish I'd have came up with that one.
Okay.
But I think we can win that game.
Yes.
It's this game. It's this game, Captain.
It's a home game against the sparklers, chokers, garglers, pick one in L.A. Home game.
Which is a home game.
Home game.
You seen last year. Oh my God.
It was 85% Raider fans.
The Chargers players were walking off the field saying, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never been to a game like this where we were at home and it felt like we were never.
Go to the post-game comments, Raiders at Chargers last year. I was going to say the Chargers, when they were interviewed on San Diego TV saying how horrible, in their minds, how horrible the fans were, that they had never played a game, a home game, where it was 85-90% silver and black. And we ran everybody out of the stadium anyway. So by the end of the stadium, it was 98% Raiders. And that is hopefully, and I say hopefully, the way it's going to be for week 17.
I think so.
We got to get there first.
We got to get there
first.
We got to get through week 16 first. So let's look at week 16, Captain, because obviously that's last year. Our holidays got ruined because of the car injury.
Yeah,
I want to win on Christmas. So what do we got to do to get a win on Christmas, Raider Nation? Carson Wentz goes down, so it looked like things were looking up for us. But then Foles comes out. What did he throw? 4 last week?
He threw 4 touchdowns.
Last week. And Foles has a little history with us.
Yes, Mr. Foles is actually in the NFL record books because 4 years ago in the Oakland Coliseum, Foles, 7 touchdowns, the record for most touchdowns in a game against the Oakland Raiders. Having said that,
49-20.
Let's revisit who the defensive backs were for the Raiders 4 years ago. See if any of these names ring a bell. And I'm gonna wait on the ones that you guys will probably already know. Has anybody remembered the old gentleman Osama Young? Played safety. How about Brandon Ross, who was a starting safety by the end of the year because the other safety, Ms. Tyvon Branch, was probably already injured. The guy was injured stepping out on a crack outside of the
I was a
stadium.
big Tyvon fan, man, but he is always injured. He's still injured.
The other safety was a gentleman by the name of Seawood. So of all of those 4 safeties, we have one All-Pro Hall of Famer and a bunch of who?
Yep.
But again, your cornerbacks. Let's go down memory lane here. We all remember that DJ Hayden was on the team, and you know that DJ was the Messiah, the cornerback to save us all. Thanks for playing, Johnny. We have some wonderful party gifts for you. Tom, what are you doing? He's gone, and he's in Detroit.
You won your parting gift. Your ass is fired.
Get out of here.
You're going to go to Detroit. Enjoy the water.
Phillip Adams was a cornerback on that team, who was actually a pretty decent corner that actually went to Seattle afterwards. So he actually kind of salvaged his career when he left. And then we had the 2 starters, Mike Jenkins, who was a decent cornerback, kids out of South Florida, local guy, and some guy by the name of Tracy Porter. You might remember Tracy because he had an interception when the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But Tracy, I think, was 186 years old 4 years ago.
He was old for a corner when he was there. He'd had miles on him, and we tried to bring him in. We like to do that. We like to grab those Super Bowl MVPs and then bring them in the next season and try to catch lightning in a bottle, and it doesn't seem to work out.
And finally, my favorite name, I love this name, Chimdi Chekwa. Yay! What an all-star cast that we had back there. No wonder Nick Foles threw for 7 touchdowns. Okay, our D-backs right now. Okay, we already said that Amerson is a healthy scratch.
Yep.
So, who do we got back there? Actually, Amerson, who's our starter, is out. T.J. Carey is listed as our starter, and he don't play starting. He's actually our slot nickel corner. Okay? Dexter McDonald is our starting cornerback who's been playing well.
He hasn't played terrible.
Playing better. And a gentleman by the name of Sean Smith. And we'll get back to Sean in a little bit as well. And, of course, Antonio Hamilton is also listed on our roster. So, quarterbacks were okay. We've already said we have an issue with Reggie, who is this year's version of Tracy Porter.
Yep.
Reggie, see ya after the season.
I've been a Reggie Nelson fan, but
I was when he was at Florida years ago, and I'm a Gator.
You just don't get a long career when you're a defensive back. You just don't typically.
And of course we got Carl Joseph, all 5'7" of them. But again, Carl can play.
I like
safety.
Carl Joseph.
I like him, but you know what? We need the guy. We need to get the kid some lifts.
Yes.
And Eric Harris, who is basically the special teamer that plays every now and again as well. But again, I don't think Nick Foles is going to throw for 7 touchdowns on us. I really don't, okay? Our linebackers are better. They can actually cover the, in theory, they should be able to cover the running backs and the tight ends. And they got some good personnel on that Eagles team, especially the tight end, Zach Ertz.
I live in reality. And the reality of the NFL is when your starting quarterback goes down, you just don't plug a guy in and keep rolling. You just don't. You skip a major beat. There's usually a big fall down from your starting quarterback to your backup on an NFL team. And a team like the Eagles that was clicking on all cylinders and running like they were, to think that there's not going to be any fall off. I mean, they played the Giants last week. The Giants.
And the Giants gave them a hell of a game.
Yes, and the Giants were putting it on their ass to the point where they looked like they were going to lose. Now, yes, did Nick Foles throw 4 touchdowns? Yes, against the Giants. The Giants. So let's keep everything in perspective here. He's still an NFL quarterback in Carson Wentz that was leading a team number 1 in the power rankings in the entire league, and he is done for the season. You do not plug somebody in and keep that machine rolling like that. there's no way they are not unbeatable when we go out there on Christmas.
It is in Philly. It's going to be a tough game. I'm a Philadelphia kid from growing up. Again, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I am a Philly kid, and we'll also get into that as well. Matchup-wise, the Eagles, actually spoken correctly, Philadelphia East, the Eagles have 60 more yards, total yards per game, okay? Again, that stat is with an asterisk because, again, all of these stats minus the last game are stats with Carson Wentz. In fact, the Eagles' passing yards per game, and this is total, they only have 13 more passing yards per game more than what the Raiders have. Derek Carr is a better quarterback right now than Nick Foles, okay? So figure that the quarterback battle, we're going to win that one, okay? And rushing yards per game, this is where the Eagles really do have us, 47 yards better than the Raiders. But here's the stat that I want to let you guys know. +9 and -9. The Eagles have 9 more takeaways than they have giveaways, whereas the Raiders have 9 more giveaways than they have takeaways. And that number's gotten better since Pagano's been there because, again, remember, we didn't have an interception for, the first 10 games or so this year? Mm-hmm. It was horrible, okay?
But you got to keep in mind, that quarterback that helped with that turnover ratio is not there anymore. It's now Nick Foles, not Carson Wentz. So even though their numbers are way in their favor, everything changes.
It's not really.
Not really, but
no.
Everything changes now. I think you're going to see who the Eagles really are this week going forward without Carson Wentz.
Provided the Raiders that wish to play and have the heart to play and can play up to their ability, the game. You play to win the game.
Our team has to show up this week. That's really what it all comes down to at this point. Do they feel that there's enough left to play for? With the 11.1% chance to make the playoffs, with 2 games left, must-win games, is it enough for you to get up for? Is it enough for you to come in and, on Christmas Day, on the road, in a hostile-ass environment, is it enough for you guys to show up? That's what it comes down to. Because if they can win, we laid out how the rest have a chance to still make it. If the Dolphins can somehow beat the Chiefs.
The Dolphins can beat the Chiefs. And I tell you, that game obviously is on Sunday. So the Raiders will know coming into Monday if there's even a snowball's chance in hell of them making the playoffs.
Yep.
They will know going into the Monday night game.
All the rest of the scenarios will have already all played out. So
it's up to the Raiders and their matchups. And I want to do a little bit, again, in case you haven't been following the Eagles. Again, Carson Wentz is out. Nick Foles is their number 1 quarterback. Their rushing attack, which I told you is really good. They have the plugger LeGarrette Blount, and they picked up Jay Ajayi right before the Raiders played the Dolphins. They got rid of him, so we didn't have to worry about playing against Ajayi this year, that game. But we need to worry about him this year. The Raiders. The Eagles have a very formidable 1-2 combo in the running back field. So, again, their rushing game can work. So we need to make sure that we plug the holes and make sure that we get the Eagles to be a one-dimensional team, and that is making Nick Foles throw against us. And I like our chances.
4 quarters. We need to play full 4 quarters of football. We haven't done that for a while. In the last couple games, last game, the game before that, in the second half, we're all of a sudden coming alive. We need to have that intensity the whole game.
We need to come out. And
what's up, Jay? JD Enigma. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you there, brother. Need to flash some of that cash money on those teeth of yours. By the way, again, for receiving, the Eagles, very good receivers. And Alshon Jeffrey, who they picked up from the Bears last year. Nelson Aguilar, who was a bust the first couple years, has turned it around this year. He is the predominant receiver out of UCLA. good college kid. So he's come into his own and is showing what he could be doing. And again, Zach Ertz is a Pro Bowl tight end. So they have the receivers. The question is whether we can cover them.
This is a stout test. This is a stout test for our defense. But I'm telling you, it's not the same with Foles in there as it was with Wentz. There's going to be a fall off. I think last week was an anomaly for their offense. They were playing the Giants. Let's keep it in perspective. The Giants made them work for that win. And they're just not the same team with him in there. They're a young team. I had question with them going in anyway because of their playoff experience. They have none of it. This entire team is made up of young guys who have never really made it.
I was going to say I would have to look on that roster to see which which Eagle players have any playoff experience, because predominantly that team has been turned over. A bunch of younger guys on that team, and if they have some of the veterans, those are the guys that possibly have playoff experience with somebody else. But they're a team that, again, they're just, this is new to them. Because remember, they've sucked the last 2 years predominantly because Chip Kelly ran that team into the ground. They were hurting. And they got rid of all of their better players. They got rid of Shady McCoy and all that. Chip Kelly has done more to destroy that team. They've had to turn it around. So again, they're going through the motions. This is a brand new team which is just starting to find their footing. The Raiders can win this game. It's not wishful thinking. It's who shows up. Which Raider team shows up. I've said it for every friggin' game this year. And it's going to be the same way. If the Raiders show up, they have the team that can beat the Eagles. Because remember, the Eagles have only lost to the Chiefs, and that was in the beginning of the year. And that was a close game where the Eagles should have won that game, okay? And they lost to the Seahawks, which handled them, okay?
Yep.
The Seahawks are the only team that's really kicked their butt, okay? The thing is, they could have lost to the Giants last week. It was and then they kind of turn it on in the air. The Raiders have the capabilities to win.
They've got to come out and play four full quarters of football. They have to come out and play with intensity out of the gate. They have to. We cannot come out and not put up any points in the first half and try to come from behind. You've got to come out, smack them in the mouth, play from the very start of the game with that type of intensity. Win or lose, man. There's 2 games left, and then it's a long goddamn no time with football. Play the last 2 games like they mean something. Play them like they mean something. That's all we want to see. You know how much a win, regardless of anything else, would mean to Raider Nation on Christmas? Do you have any idea how much that win would mean to your fan base? Just go out and play for that. Because that, oh my God, that would be huge.
The only thing I want for Hanukkah and Christmas, because I celebrate both. That's all I want. I tell you, I know that it gives us a drop in the draft. I got it, okay?
Screw 2018.
I tell you what. We already got
2017
two people in the draft next year in Obi and Conley. Those are 2 draft picks we already got next year because, again, we haven't seen anything from them. 2 starters right there, hopefully, that'll come on out. So, again, if we're going to drop 5 spots in the draft because we went from 6-10 to 8-8, because we go to 8-8, that's enough.
You always try to win the game.
Exactly, okay?
Always.
So we didn't have a losing season. I don't want a losing season. I want to beat the Eagles. I want to beat the Garglers. I want it to be 8-8, and I want the Raiders to be relevant for a possible playoff drive, okay? 8-8 and a possible playoff drive. That's what I want to see.
It's possible. It's possible. We can win these last 2 games. The only person who had the experience and the drive and the playoff experience that I would say on the Eagles was Wentz. And that's only from North Dakota State University.
And he's a 3rd-year quarterback. His championship throws with the fact he came from a great institution.
Yep.
A champion when he was in college from a Division I school. Okay? He has that tutelage going for him. He had the drive. But something is gone from that team with him not being there. You're not going to tell me that the Eagles are just going to click along. They're the same great team. They're not the same great team. They're trying to go through, and they can do that, and they're doing a good job so far. But we have the capabilities to have a very Merry Christmas. There's nothing better that I want to do is to celebrate with a cheesesteak in Philly on Christmas with a W, baby.
W. That's what we need. I still have faith. I am the forever optimist until my team is dead, and there's still a heartbeat. There's still a heartbeat. Until that heartbeat is completely dead, I will believe.
That's
then, when it's been snuffed out, I want to play spoiler every fucking game and shit on your playoff dreams.
That's right.
That's a Raider.
That's the way it should be.
But thank you for joining us. It's been an hour. It's hard to believe, but it's been fun. Thank you for the captain for joining me again on a Thursday. He's going to be back next Thursday as well. Hopefully, we're talking about what all needs to happen, stars aligning next week for us to still get in the playoffs.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
You never know. You
Talking
never
about
know.
playoffs? I just want to win a game.
Close it out, Captain.
Your Greater Nation.
Thank you for joining us as always, our band of pirates. We love you, each and every one of you. Peace, love, Raider Nation!